Thank you to Xander for. Thank you to Xander for inviting me to participate today. I'm incredibly honored. It's so great to see so many of his friends and teammates in the room. I'm Craig Tan, class of '92, as Kelly mentioned, and Xander's been one of my closest friends since the '80s, which is wild to think about. We are honoring Xander today for his accomplishments as a wrestler from 1990 to 1993. And his accomplishments stand out because they were elite and they were consistent. My most vivid memory of Xander's wrestling career has nothing to do with him actually being on the mat. I don't have a story of an epic pin or some awesome come-from-behind victory. Rather, it was me watching Xander from the stands watch his teammates wrestle. The day that I have in mind, Academy was hosting a tournament down in the old gym, which I think we call the Jones Gym now. Down in the old gym, Xander won his match that afternoon, but the show was just starting. While his teammates were wrestling, Xander roamed around the outside of the mat, literally like a crazy person. He was yelling words of encouragement. He was shouting. It was this hilarious mixture of gesticulation, cheering, bouncing on foot to foot, rocking back and forth. And I just remember, it's clear as day, yelling, shoot, shoot, take the shot, shoot, high crotch, high crotch. Apparently there was a move in wrestling called the high crotch. I don't know what that's about. Maybe you can demonstrate it here in a couple minutes. And I kept thinking to myself, what the hell is he doing? And why are they allowing him to carry on like this? But now that I think about it, Xander was coaching. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Xander performed at his best in the biggest tournaments of the year. He was a 4-time state placer. He finished 6th as a freshman in 1990. Finishing 6th was validation that Xander belonged among the state's best, but I know he wasn't happy with that result. It turbocharged his determination, drive, and grit. He had something to prove, and nothing was going to stop him. He was a state runner-up as a sophomore, 3rd in his junior year, and he finished his senior season undefeated 35-0 as a state champion. Xander continued wrestling while attending the United States Naval Academy, where he was the captain of the team his senior season. In 2011, Xander started the youth wrestling program in Bexley with the goal of channeling experienced wrestlers up to the high school program. Knowing Xander, this was not going to be some half-baked effort. He was all in. The following is a description of the wrestling program from the Bexley Rec Activities Guide. The Bexley Youth Wrestling Program is focused on developing fundamental wrestling skills regardless of experience or ability level. The children will develop body control and awareness, strength, speed, balance, and flexibility. Here's my favorite line. We'll also develop physical courage, toughness, and stamina in a fast-paced and fun environment. Xander, I don't know if you wrote that line, but that couldn't describe you any better. You have physical courage, you're tough, and you're full of stamina. With those program goals in mind, or that I just mentioned, Xander had to teach himself how to be a coach. He had to learn to take this vast knowledge of wrestling and his respect for the sport and translate it into bite-sized pieces for kids as young as 6 years old. Years later, Xander became involved with the Bexley High School program, upping the ante even more. He read books on leadership, how to achieve greatness, how to motivate others, set goals, design the perfect practice. He broke down every move, hold grip into its step-by-step procedure to teach his kids. He challenged himself to seek greatness in himself, his staff, and his team. The perfect conclusion to this arc of the story is the 2024 Ohio High School State Wrestling Championship, where Xander was coaching his son Marius in the state final. Marius came up through the youth program. The plan was working. Now, Xander was in the chair reserved for coaches on the corner of the mat. Slightly less animated, but no less intense. Seeing things a split second before they happened, he offered his advice, shouted out words of encouragement to Marius, was leaning nervously in his chair from side to side. He coached, just as he coached his academy teammates on that day that I vividly recall. He coached his son Marius you can't make this up. He coached his son Marius to a state title, the crowning achievement of an undefeated season just as Xander accomplished 31 years before. Wrestling has been a cornerstone for most of Xander's life. As a wrestler at Academy, he was one of the best in our school's history. As a coach for the last 15 years, he has worked diligently to make himself a better teacher and to spread his knowledge of the sport to his wrestlers in the Bexley youth and high school programs. Xander, with deepest joy, I congratulate you on your induction into the Columbus Academy Athletic Hall of Fame. Your scholastic wrestling achievements shine bright, and through your tireless devotion to coaching, you embody a spirit forever in quest of the best, not only within yourself, but in all whose lives you touch and lead. Congratulations.
I appreciate that so much, Craig. It's a wonderful introduction. You've been a great friend to me since our academy days. I'm very touched and I'm grateful for our friendship and the friendship of so many people here. To the Academy Board, to the Academy staff and faculty, the athletic department, this is a great honor. I'm very grateful for this honor. And to Ray, congratulations. Thank you for that speech as well. Very high-minded. I don't think I'm going to quite get there, but to the Academy family, my family, and to my parents, who made me a lifer here. My earliest memories are here. So many wonderful friends. So much love and support. It wasn't just Craig Tan, that was my buddy. It was Craig Tan's family that was always so kind to me. Not just my childhood best friend, Danny Rogovan, but his family that treated me like a son. Not just Jason Baker, my great wrestling friend, but his father, who helped guide me. The Ackleys, when I was a young boy, great Academy family, who were so kind and generous with me. The Yoders, the Lucases, the Thompsons, my Aunt Kay, my cousin Bill, who came to all of our matches. So many of these great relationships were formed through wrestling. I love wrestling, as you just heard. I love wrestling. I think I love it more than anything else. I love it so much. I coach it now, and I love it even more. Wrestling gives to you what you give to it. It's the ultimate sport. I call it the ultimate sport. Ultimate in the ultimate sense of the word. There's nothing greater. There's nothing greater. I remember the weeks leading up to 7th grade wrestling practice I could not wait to become a wrestler. I could not wait. I was sitting in class, and it's all I could think about. I can finally be on the wrestling team. I mean, I had always wanted to be on the wrestling team. I couldn't be on the wrestling team until 7th grade. And those weeks leading up, I remember being in class and just that's all I could think about. Wrestling was in my blood, even though I didn't really understand what that meant at the time. Ron Meach. Mr. Meach was the middle school wrestling coach. He was a great coach, a great guy, and I loved him a lot. But when I think about Mr. Meach, I actually think about Ms. Krell in her 7th grade English class. Ms. Krell was stern, serious, tough. Rumor was that she had actually been a nun in her previous life. That's a wonderful thing. But you get the picture of what kind of teacher she may have been. In fact, she was an outstanding teacher. And she taught me how to write. She taught me how to write. And she believed in my voice. So she loved the essay that I wrote about Mr. Meach in 7th grade. And she turned it into some contest along with some of the others. And I was so proud of that she took an essay that I wrote and, believed in it and thought that I was a writer. And that's how I remember my academy world. A convergence of wrestling with reading, writing, rhetoric. I'm so grateful for those experiences. Even writing a speech, I use techniques that I learned here at Academy. Get your words down, dump your ideas, double space, fill in the gaps, later for editing. Which is how I wrote my junior speech in 1992. I told a story about my grungy green 1972 Dodge Dart. And I had them laughing from the first line. They call me Dart Man. It worked again. It's great. So while the competition was stiff to win a state title in wrestling in Ohio in 1993, the caliber of brilliant individuals in the class of 1993 was also quite stiff. Brilliant people surrounded me, including 13 incredible, courageous, brilliant girls. The first girls to graduate from Academy. So from the historic class of 1993, I won the Junior Speaking Award. So, while I am so proud of my state title in wrestling, and I love it and I cherish it, I'm just as proud of that Junior Speaking Award. I cherish that prize just as much. Kevin Michael was our high school wrestling coach. I wish you were here today. Kevin had a lust for life. He was so much fun. It was hilarious, thrilling, and inspiring to be coached by Kevin. He's possibly the most successful wrestling coach in the school's history. We were strong. We had strong teams. We won our first league title, and with some heroics from some of the people in this room, including Victor Thorne, Jason Baker, who's not here, his father's here, and Abe Green. May he rest in peace, Abe Green. Kevin was not a technical wrestling expert. He was proudly unconventional, an unconventional person. And he was the philosophy teacher here for many years. And he was an inspiration to many. He was a wonderful mentor. And I do miss him a lot. Thanks also to Doug Hicks, who's here, our great assistant coach. He brought so much energy to the room. He also brought Hicks time! Yeah. I still use that kind of voice in my wrestling. A lot of that I learned back in my academy days, and that's what you can still hear me in the Bexley wrestling room. But Hicks time meant great effort and probably a lot of pain. So thank you so much for some wonderful memories. Appreciate it, Coach. To my parents, who knew nothing of wrestling when I first started, but did not miss one match. Did not miss one match. They supported me every step, and more importantly, every misstep in my life's journey. Thank you so much. To my family, Juliet, Marius, and Eloise, I love you. And Babette, thank you for building this wonderful life together. Thank you.
Alex and Ray, those were some incredible speeches. I'm so grateful to just be here and be a part of this ceremony. So again, one more big congratulations to these two. This is exactly what this ceremony is all about. So as you can see, Ray and Alex's accomplishments made them more than qualified to be inducted into the Columbus Academy Athletic Hall of Fame.